Yeah, brother.
Hey, how you going? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, mate, all good.
Lovely. Good stuff, mate.
Okay. Sorry, guys, we're running a bit late, but we had a bit of an issue with the link. It's all good now.
Had to install a new browser and all that stuff because I got a really old computer. It's about 12 years old, so it's still kicking.
Yeah.
Just
It's still working. That's the
anyway.
way.
Cheers.
Yeah, crack a frothy. Have a good one.
Yeah, bloody
We've
oath,
got
mate.
Harley Soul Juice and Anxiety Wizard in there at the minute. Says there's 3, so it's someone
nice.
sitting back watching. I know Matt's got he's got his fucking premiere on at the moment too, so that's the way it is. Anyway, how's your weekend?
Yeah, not too bad. Pretty busy. I played Friday night, and then Saturday I'd organised a Blue Mountains Royal Enfield ride with another mate of mine. So he's a guy named Ian who runs a Wheelie Picks. So he takes photos of guys out on their motorbikes, kind of like what the gentleman out on the Pacific Highway does.
Yeah.
So he's got he's got his own. Excuse me. He's got his own company where he just sort of takes photos and sells the photos online and all that sort of stuff. But him and I organised the ride for guys up here because a lot of the rides down in Sydney are organised. They're all on the northern beaches, and it takes us like 2.5 hours to get there. So But in saying that, we had 2 guys yesterday. One guy was from Newcastle, another guy was from Orange. So makes us look bad.
I had a big one last weekend. I had a club run with the boys, and we had that because there's no short way across to Murrurundi. So over the top, Walker and Gloucester, Walker and Tamworth down that way, which is 20 minutes longer, or down around the bottom Raymond Terrace and up to New England that way. And it's either way, it's 4 hours in the saddle, and that's get there, and then another 4 hours to get home. So
it's a big day.
It was a big day. It was a big weekend, and the boys like to drink too, which is good. So it was a great weekend. It was long. I hadn't had a decent weekend like that in a long time. So
nice.
I highly enjoyed it. Rode over, beautiful sunny morning, sunny day all the way over, and cut through Raymond Terrace there, and pulled over and stretched the leg, and just took in the scenery all around there, nice green fields and that, and then up the New England, Skeins bypass now. Fuck, I didn't know that. So that's how long it's been since I've been that way, and even Braxton, that's bypassed as well. So I went through Braxton, and there's a sign there that says if you want to go to fucking Skein, turn around and turn right. Otherwise, you're going the wrong way. So I had to stop a couple of times because I was riding by myself, but 4.5 hours I got there, and the VP walked over the road. We're just round the corner at the pub up there, and rolled up there. Some of the boys are only just getting up. This is 11:30.
Yeah,
they tied on a big one. And as soon as I got there, parked the bike, and I had a frothy myself, and that was the start. That was it. And
nice.
It was a good weekend. It was really enjoyable.
And
it
sounds great, man. Yeah.
It was
I just wanted to say hi to Anxiety Wizard. I know he popped up before and said hi. I don't know if he's still around, but
he's in there.
And Harley Throttle Juice has said they're coming up your way, so get ready.
Have a nice scene. Right, it's good.
But we had a good ride. We all met up at Glenbrook at the visitor centre, and there was about 12 of us, which was pretty good because the weather was horrible. A lot of people in the group chat for that ride was saying, it's going to be cold, it's going to be wet, and we just went, can't do much about that, mate. Come along and have fun, you know. But most of the ride was pretty good. We went down to Kurrajong, and then we just went up the Bells Line of Road up to Mount Victoria. We cut across the Darling Causeway to Mount Victoria, and then went to Katoomba and kind of hung out for a couple of hours at the old Gearans Hotel there, which is now a cafe called On the Soul Side, and my mate Dave runs that cafe, so we kind of want to give him some business there, and he kind of wants to turn the cafe into a bit of a motorcycle halfway point. You know, when folks want to go out riding out to Bathurst or out west somewhere, it's a good sort of stop to stop and have a coffee, have a piss break. And so we're kind of got plans to turn that into a motorcycle cafe, So yeah, we had about 12 or 13 bikes turn up, which was great. Like I said, a couple of guys from a bit far away, Newcastle and Orange, and Harley Throttle Juice is asking, did I film the Royal Enfield? I did actually. I did film the ride. Yeah, I did. I'm I just finished editing it about 10 minutes ago, just before I jumped on here, and I'll be uploading that shortly, and doing all the usual stuff like the thumbnails and bits and pieces. So yeah, that'll be coming. And I just so Harley Throttle Juice knows, Rog, I went on a ride with Rog Rochelle, Chewy, and another Rob, a different guy, and that was about 2-3 weeks ago now. I haven't edited that stuff yet, but I have heaps of footage because that was a big ride. I've got tons.
It takes time to edit. It's just,
I keep looking at the files for that ride, and it's just there's like millions of gigabytes of data. I just can't be bothered doing it.
It was like that ride over at Arundel. I've got another one in a month's time. Like end of this month, we've got to go over there again for the Vietnam Vets Rally there. So we're going to that, and keen for that one. But you're camping in the tent and on the river and down at the property, so it's a bit different to sleeping at the pub. But and that's 2 nights. We're going Friday night and Saturday night. Well, they stay 2 nights, but I'm going to take Friday off and ride with them. Get there and ride with them, because the ride home I enjoyed. There was 8 of us on the way home.
Yeah, right.
And sitting, sort of mid pack and just cruising on the speed, and then you just it was enjoyable. Like I enjoyed it. Nice. Like on the ride over with your own time and in your own mental space and sucking it all in, and then riding with the club and the crew on the way home. It's another feeling, and if you don't know what it's like, it's enjoyable.
That's it.
I did myself, but you do like a group ride every now and then.
Yeah, I mostly tend to ride by myself, or at least with one or two mates.
I'm the same.
But every now and then a group ride's pretty nice, and I got turned off by group rides a few years ago because I went on this group ride. There was a guy who rode a Royal Enfield, and he kind of touted it as a Royal Enfield ride, and I thought, we'll all be on slow bikes and everyone will have a good time, and I got to the meeting spot. I was the only guy with the Royal Enfield. Everyone else had all sorts of different bikes, but we went on this ride, and they were all going really quick. Like they weren't obeying speed limits by any means. But then, like that part, I don't care about. I just go, hey, you guys go ahead. But when I caught up to a lot of them on the corners, because as Chewy will tell, who I think he's watching right now, he knows how much I love corners. But I caught up to them on the corners, and they were doing stupid stuff like crossing over double white lines around blind corners.
Yeah.
And there was one bit, I was about 10 meters behind this guy, and he went over the double white lines, blind corner, and when he got back onto the correct side of the road, he a Pajero went past the other way like seconds later, and I thought, mate, you guys are all going to kill yourself. So when we stopped, I just said, I told that guy off.
Yeah.
And I said to the rest of them, mate, have triple O ready because someone here is going to die. You're all absolutely fucked. See you later. And I turned around and came home. It was one of the worst rides I'd been on. And I didn't go on a group ride for years after that, and I've always been apprehensive.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like poker runs and all. It's a bit hard because you don't know who you're riding with. But then when you're with the club and like you've been with a club hanging around for 12 months or so and whatnot, you know how everyone rides. And been in a club before 15 years myself and a road captain, you sort of, the ropes. But I hear you. Like then you get the ones like that just you just stretch the boundaries and overtaking on double lines and things like that. It's just not on.
It's just stupidity. I don't want to see someone die in front of me. I've seen my fair share of motorbike accidents in front of me, and I've had a couple of my own, and give yourself a fighting chance. Stay on the right side of the road.
Oh, exactly right. And you don't know when your time's up. Like, the reason I say that is where we go forward driving. Just last weekend, when I come back from the club ride, you might come out. Oh, did you hear that there was a fatality where we go forward driving up Smiths Road?
Yeah.
And we were thinking, how could you roll a car there? But then we realised there is one steep hill right at the end of it. And if anything, if you got in a bit of trouble there, because there was a Jeep Wrangler and obviously a soft top, what happened? It rolled and it squashed the girl and
oh jeez,
and killed her instantly. And then he ended up going to hospital. And it was apparently he's a bit of a lair as well. I don't know. I'm just going on what was said.
Yeah.
But fatality. A young Swiss girl, 31 years old, died, and he was in hospital for a while and drug tested. I don't know what the outcome was, but and my mate said today, like, that's about the third one up there in like 17 years that's passed away forward driving and like just rolling down the banks and things like that, being silly and whatnot. But it's like we forward drive out there all the time, and like I said, I couldn't understand where or how. But then when we sort of picked up, it's got to be a soft top, would have been a rollover.
Yeah.
And that's what it was, because there's a steep hill. Obviously, they got in trouble and had to roll back. And he wasn't a good driver, obviously, but
I came home after the ride yesterday, and a mate of mine who lives up towards the Pacific Highway, he sent me a couple of links from the New South Wales Police Facebook page. Yeah. One guy on the Pack Highway was I don't know if he was fatally injured. I'm not sure if he passed away or not. But there was another one that afternoon at like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the Arvo yesterday. A motorcyclist riding on the wrong side of the road and basically got killed by a truck. So I just thought, poor truck driver now has to live with that the rest of his life.
Oh, exactly. There was one down the milk truck down Ulladulla, like the rider. He had a bloke drive underneath the front of his car. I don't know if it was suicide or whatever. It's between Batemans Bay and Ulladulla, and then he had his time off and all that, and then come back a year or so, or 12 months, 18 months later, and it happened again.
Yeah,
same thing exactly. And that he retired then, like that was it.
Jeez.
And it's funny you say that too. Like 3 days ago, midweek, there was a 3-car crash at Nabiac. Truck crash. Yeah. A truck rolled and another semi-trailer, 2 of them hit him. So obviously it was a night time and it rolled and they plowed into each other.
Yeah.
And me and the missus went to Newcastle to the camping show looking for a camping trailer.
Right.
And we get the Nabiac, and on the Facebook page, she scrolled and had a look, and there was another one there. And we were coming through, and then here it is. We go, how can you crash there? But obviously it's fallen straight because there is a slight bend, but this boat's just gone straight ahead.
Far out.
Through the bank, up over the top, and then the truck was on a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
They had a big semi-trailer tow truck there trying to and clear it up. And then we come home 3:30 that afternoon, and the tow truck was still there. Like the big, Peterbilt fucking tow truck was still sitting there. And it's just unbelievable. But
nah. Oh, well, let's talk about something better than
that's
that.
It. Yeah, that's enough of the jibs and grabs. But last weekend, the ride over Murrumbidgee. I'm looking forward to next month, like end of this month, and to do the same thing for the rally. And Chewy put one up there. He says when he gets a comfier bike, he'll do longer Ks or mine ain't too fucking comfy, Chewy. It's low and there's fuck all suspension, and you just got to bite the bullet and put the bit between your teeth and learn to ride.
I haven't ridden Chewy's bike. I know Rochelle has. She doesn't seem to mind it, but she's probably only sat on it for an hour tops or something. But I know Chewy did his video. Putting a gel insert into his seat, but he said it hasn't really made much of a difference at all. And I just said, mate, you just got to get yourself on a street glide or something. So
exactly. I reckon it'd be ideal for him fucking look. Rog fucking did one the other day. Oh, like the fucking street popper. The what are they called? Yeah, the Bob one with the big fucking oval headlight.
I
See
think
if
he might
Rog,
even.
what was it?
Yeah.
It's just a good air on the other right. He's walking along there. Exactly right.
I'm trying to think of what it was.
I'm pretty sure
Street Bob. Street Bob. Yeah, okay.
Street Bob, that's it. Yeah. I reckon Chewy should get one of them because they're a good all-round bike. They're nice and high, and virtually you can ride it like a fucking trail bike, and they're pretty comfy, and they've got some poke. So I think that's a good all-round. They're a good all-round Harley if you don't know what you're looking for. If you don't want a bagger and stuff like that, they're a good mid-range bike.
Yeah,
to do everything. So
yeah, nice one.
Cool. Well, better dig into some of these questions then, mate.
Let's. You know,
this is all that shit happens.
Yeah.
There's nothing too hard.
Nah, it's all good, mate. It's not a test.
Not a test. The FES chick was on the other week. She's going, "Am I passing?" Well, it's just like she's sick for a maths test. She's like, "What's the next one she's going?" It's this simple one first up. Says, what inspired you to do your YouTube channel?
Oh, mate, you know what? Originally, when I started my YouTube channel, I just had a lot of stuff on there, like a lot of repair stuff for guitar amplifiers mostly. And the reason I started it was I actually had one customer who he wanted me to do something for him, and I did it. And I always try to do a good job because I always say I never want repeat customers. I want the guy to go away and he doesn't have any problems with anything for another 5-10 years, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I always do a good job. I always test things properly. You know, I never want to see that person come back for the same problem. And sometimes, you know, you can't avoid it. But what ended up happening was he ended up going on Facebook in all these different groups I used to be in for guitars and, you know, amplifiers and all this stuff, and said, you know, he took it to me, and, you know, he took it to this guy, Steph, and, you know, he did a bad job and didn't like what he did, and, you know, it's not working how he wanted, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to record every single one of my repairs now and put them on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then and then if a customer says, you know, you didn't do this right, blah, 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 I'll go, well, mate, there's an 1.5 hour long YouTube video or an hour long YouTube video. You can sit there and watch the whole repair yourself.
Yeah.
And you can see what I did. And, you know, and I kind of did it originally to just sort of cover my ass. But then after a while, I started doing other bits and pieces. And then when COVID happened and I kind of lost a lot of my work in my industry.
Yeah.
I kind of went, you know, what am I going to do? So I started the podcast up, and I, you know, I take that quite seriously. That's quite structured and professional and all that. The YouTube channel, I'm still trying to sort of find my feet with that one. I'm not really sure what the go is with it. At times I've thought about giving it up. At times I've thought about, what about this idea? And it kind of fades away, and you know, I don't get that.
Like we were yakking, you know, this afternoon about like that. Is you can even use your YouTube channel as still as a feeder, like for your podcast. So if that's going to be focused on your podcast, is like feed like ads and whatnot and shorts on through your YouTube channel. Like I said, even if you got a gig somewhere, highlight some of that, or then like still do your repairs if you want to. But you got ideas on what you want to do. I'd still just keep doing it.
Yeah, I'll still keep doing it for now, but I kind of deep down, especially now that the channel's just hit 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
it's made me kind of think more about, you know, maybe I'll take the YouTube channel as seriously as the podcast.
Yeah.
And yesterday on this ride, Ross from Biker Talk actually came along as well, and we just had a really brief chat about it. And I kind of, you know, he said, congratulations on the 1,000 subs. And I went, thanks, mate. I said, you know, I was kind of looking forward to that milestone. Yeah. And I said, but you know what? I said, I don't really know what I'm doing with the channel yet, but it's made me, hitting 1,000 subs has made me sort of now think about it properly. And it'd be nice if the YouTube channel had some sort of well, at least a little bit of structure to it. It doesn't have to be, as regimented as the podcast, but
Yeah.
But I've got some ideas of what I want to do. I've got a few things lined up that I'm going to try. Mostly just reviews and stuff. And I've already done like one review when I did the Johnny Reb helmet and I did the giveaway with it. That was really good.
Yeah.
I've got a few other things coming up. And they also work in line with the podcast as well. So, guys that I've interviewed for this new season coming up starting March, they've also agreed to be on the YouTube channel, but mostly either just sending me products or wanting me to come up and do reviews of their stuff. So,
well, I can send you an empty tinny when I finish with
it. I'll throw my Swiss Army knife at it and do a review of how well I can.
The silver bullet versus the tinny versus the Swiss Army knife. Nah, that's it. That's the go.
Yeah. So it's the YouTube channel kind of started from there, and it's kind of morphed into more of a vlogging sort of bike style thing. But I've also got ideas of a couple of things that I want to do in the near future, a couple of bike related events as well. And this no one's really heard about this. I haven't really spoken to anyone about all this stuff, so you're hearing it here first if anyone's listening.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of bike related events that I want to organize, and they're not unique, but I'm putting my own spin on them. And they'll be fun, and I'm not going to take it too seriously because some bike events I see they're a bit too polished and posery for me. I kind of want to do something a little bit more casual and fun, and we'll see what happens there.
I like changing things up and doing it sort of your own way and your own spin and everything, which is pretty much like all of us. Like everyone with our videos, like they're so unique. Like we know each other's styles and everything else, and what our channels are like. Yeah. We all like it, so we keep supporting, and you're always just going to watch it. So
that's it.
It's like some are a bit better in the cinematic and their styles, and some better at speaking in front of the camera and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like even like looking at Rob's channel, like Throttle Down Under. There you go. There's my beer koozie.
He's mine in the lounge room, Rob.
His channel's always been amazing, but you can kind of see lately where he's spending more time on it and doing a lot more reviews and stuff. They're really becoming more polished. I know he got new camera gear recently, and that's also improved the quality. And then you look at like Harley Throttle Juice, who's done a few of those big trips down like to the snowfields in summer.
Yeah, that's awesome. I definitely want to get down there in summer too. Like I heard an ad come on the radio the other day because I listened to a radio app and I was listening to 2CA and down Smiggins there. Oh yeah, down Smiggins and Jindabyne all in the summertime. I'd love to ride down there and like what they've just done. And have a look at it all. Yeah.
But those videos, like some of them are so cinematic, and Roger's done a great job. I mean, he's already got an eye for detail when it comes to photography. So video would kind of
exactly that helps him being like the whole photographer side of it. My big thing doing photography was in high school, and that was just to get out of other shit to learn how to use your camera. I was into the 35mm. I still got me lenses and my mum's old Pentax in the corner. And when I got Rob's Canon the other day, I over and raced in and grabbed my zoom lens, but stupid, he didn't think 35mm and 50mm were two different fucking things. Then when I pulled it out, that's what the 35 and 50mm is. So
that's
I'm going to try and take all my old shit to the camera house and see if I can get a decent zoom lens for it.
That's it.
So that's a plan anyway.
Yeah. I saw Big Bert said hi. Hi, Big Bert.
Yeah,
good on you, mate. Yeah, and
Michelle's
Michelle as well.
Too. Yeah, Matt's popped in now as well.
Good on him. So I don't really have a really strong indication of where things are going with the channel, but I've got a rough idea, and I'm going to try some stuff. And I also want to see what I enjoy doing too for the channel. because
you got to enjoy doing it yourself as well. That's
yeah,
what I
I
find.
don't. Yeah, I don't want to do it so it feels like pulling teeth. I've never done that my whole life. I've been a musician my whole life, which has always been like, well, I'm just going to do what I love, all the time. And for me, I'm hoping that I find what I want to do with the YouTube channel, brings me joy as well. And I think, looking at everyone else's channels and seeing what they're doing, when they're having fun creating their content, it's kind of what do you call it? Like it's contagious. You kind of watch it and you go, "Oh, I'm excited for you guys." You can see the excitement in people's videos when they're creating it and when they're putting it out there for us to look at. And I believe in the same sort of thing. I don't want to just create content for the sake of it.
No,
And
I'm like
and
that.
for a while, yeah, for a while there, I fell into that trap.
You do, eh? I was sort
Yeah,
of like that. Where it goes, I got to put a video out every week, and then like
yeah,
you find you're doing what's happening, which I still do. I'm going to change that into a little short live instead of actually editing a video. I'm going to jump on and say what's coming up and what's doing.
yeah.
But I fell into the thing. I still have to do that in your head. You have to do one every week, but my life's too busy to do that, unfortunately. And
Yeah,
I guess my sub count and all that obviously shows that. But anyway, like I get 100 subs a year, so to get 1,000, give me that 10 years, I might get there.
yeah. Well, that averages out to the same with mine. I mean, my channel's been going for 10 years. So, and even I was having a conversation with Chewy, and he was like, "Yeah, mine's been going for I think he said 14 years or something, 12 or 14 years. I can't remember." And I mean, the other thing as well is, as we all know, the sub count is just one aspect. You've got people commenting, thumbs up, thumbs down, all that sort of stuff, and sharing it. That all adds up too. But I know the sub count definitely helps out with a lot of things. And I've even noticed in the last 2 weeks that when I hit 1,000, in the last week especially, like all of a sudden I'm starting to get more comments on my videos, and especially older videos too, that never like had almost no views, no likes, no comments.
When you hit that, they start plugging your stuff a bit more and all your videos.
Yeah, that's
it. Doesn't help when you got one that's you only down to 300, 400, or 500 odd subs. It's a bit hard, and the battle's strong, but
that's it.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
But, that's like I gave up Shoe Buddy the other day. I deleted it in the studio because it's just depression. You look at that.
Yeah.
I found out I got another hater. Someone's fucking disliking me stuff. So look, the last 3, I got a fucking thumbs down. I go, fuck that. I just deleted it. I don't want to see that negativity. So just keep doing what I'm doing. At least with YouTube, you don't see the thumbs down or whatever. So you just go with what you're doing.
That's it.
Okay, we'll jump on to the second one. And,
no worries.
It's pretty simple. It's what other hobbies do you have not bike related? Obviously, being a music, that'd be after number one. About
music's number one. It started off as a hobby, but it quickly became a profession. I've been playing professionally since I was about 6 years old. Got my first paid gig then. So it was
pretty young.
I was kind of I was just always interested in music, since day one. And but other hobbies, I like watches as well. I'm a bit of a watch collector.
Yeah, you like pulling them apart too.
I do. I've always liked pulling things apart. It goes sort of hand in hand with the repairing amps.
I do too, but I don't put them back together.
Mate, sometimes I'm not so successful putting them back together either. So, but most of the I've always had a fascination with watches since I was a kid, and I don't have expensive watches. I just have a small collection of, I think the most expensive one I have is probably only worth about $1,000.
Yeah.
But about 50% of the collection's all just sort of cheap watches under $100. But they've all got their merits, like in the hobby. Just like with motorbikes and anything else, you always get the enthusiasts that just love all motorbikes.
Yeah.
And then you get the ones that only think their motorbike's the best and everyone else's is shit. And watches are the same. You come across watch collectors that will look at like I've got this, $25 Casio, which is bulletproof and it'll last 50 years.
I remember when you flashed that up on Instagram. I go, I grew up in high school with a Casio. Like, I wouldn't go without a Casio because when they rarely break. But then you just virtually upgraded. You didn't really buy it because they were broken. You just upgraded to the next one.
That's right. That's right.
Then the digital ones come out, and everyone was fucking jumping on them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's people out there, poo-poo that. It's just a $25 watch. Yeah, but it's one of the biggest selling watches in the world, and it's been going with the same model for the last 40, 50 years.
Exactly, because I was into surfing and skating and very outdoorsy, like swimming in the creeks and everything else. You just wanted a cheap 50-meter digital waterproof watch, and they were great. Like, you couldn't kill them unless you really fucking jumped on them or something. But
that's exactly right. Yeah,
they're really good. Last time I wore a watch, it was fucking. I lashed out. We went to Coffs Harbour for a holiday, and I bought a Rip Curl one, nice diving Rip Curl watch, $150.
Yep.
And where I work, they have a golf day, and like we had got a reputation. They're going, oh, such and such golf day is going to be here today, and all the golfers go, oh, okay, we won't come in that day because we get a bit leery. And I lost my watch because we're on the fourth fairway, fourth tee off, and old matey come and flogged the 6-pack from the fucking golf cart. So I was off down over the green. And I tackled him on the green on the next fairway as he took off with the 6-pack. And as I did that, the next 2 holes later, I realised I lost my watch, and I ran back to where it all happened, and it was already gone, and no one ended it in. So since that day, I'm not having watches anymore. But
fair enough.
That's the story. I had a $150 watch, and some bloke stole a 6-pack from the golf buggy, and I was tackling him on the green. And lost my watch in the process, as I found out later on. But I wasn't too worried about when it happened. But then later on, I realised, oh shit, I lost my watch. So
and not a cheap one either. So kind of bit of salt in the wound there, especially after a 6-pack.
Yeah.
Oh,
well. I was already full, but that's probably why I chased him. I wanted to drink another 6. Anyway. No, that's the same thing. Like he said, you started, professionally when you were 6. Well, that's when I actually started riding bikes and also playing the organ.
Right. Yep.
They went out and checked this Lowry organ out, and being like 6 years old, he cotton on it and started to read music, and I didn't get that good where I was playing concerts and stuff. So, and Mum would blackmail me. You can't go bike riding unless you do your practice, and like it ended up being a chore then. And like, I did it. I played concerts, and then you worked out at a really young age where they're all saying, "Oh, you're good. You should have won that concert," and all this stuff. That everything's rigged. There's always there's people rigging contests and things like that, and things weren't fair. You just realise life isn't fair, and I love bike riding more so than the music. I love music, but like more so than playing the organ. If I could play the drums, I would have loved it. But I tried playing bass a few times, but jumping from reading music for like on a keyboard to reading guitar music was sort of a bit of a challenge for me, so I didn't take to it too well. So
that's a pretty common thing too, going from like a keyboard or something to a stringed instrument like a guitar. It can be pretty challenging because I mean the music's music, it's all the same, but with going from a guitar or bass, on a guitar or bass you can have the same note in like 3, 4 or 5 different spots, whereas on a keyboard, that one note is in that one spot and that's it. So
that's right.
That's always hard to get your head around to start with.
Couldn't really work out where you had to be on the neck of the guitar. And like you said, a keyboard, you got your octaves and obviously where your middle C is, and you work out where the run is, and it's just that one note's in a certain lineup on your music, so you know how to. It was quite difficult to read guitar music on. I couldn't do it, so it was unfortunate. But
there you go. But that's my main hobbies. I don't really have many other interests. I try to keep it simple because with hobbies you just start accumulating all these toys for everything, and before you know it, you've got a house full of crap. And I've already got a house full of crap. I don't need more. I can't afford a bigger house, so
Well, jump on the next one's pretty simple too. It's like, when did you learn to ride a moto?
I always had an interest in them since I was a kid, and Mum would never allow it. But in high school, I just fell in love with them so much, and I worked, and at that stage, I really didn't have any family, so there was no one stopping me. And not that I did it for this reason, but I was, suddenly riding the bike to school, you become the cool kid. And I just did it because I loved it. I think I mentioned it on Ross's channel for Biker Talk. I can't remember if you put it in there or not, but I basically I loved seeing a motorbike go past me, and I was living in America when I saw a Suzuki RGV 250, and I thought, I'm having that. Like, that is awesome, And yeah, when I did finally start riding, I was about 17 when I got my bike license. I went and did my L's test, stay upright and all that stuff. And I basically did kind of what Rochelle did, where she got her bike before she got her license. If my memory serves me right, she can correct me on that. But anyway, I got the GPX home, and then I got my learners. And yeah, loved it. Nothing stopped me. Even a few times coming off, but only because of my own stupidity. Just not listening to the instructor's notes about riding over white lines in the rain, and dumb little mistakes like that you make, and you hopefully learn from.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I started riding later on. Like I wasn't in any sort of situation earlier in life where I could get on a dirt bike when I was young, or just paddock bash around on a Pee-wee 50. I wasn't in any sort of situation like that. So it came down to when I was sort of a late teen and had my own money, and I could just do it myself.
Exactly. And a lot of people like that too, like you're saying, like living in a city or even on the outskirts of a city or a bigger town, and funds wise, not being able to have enough for a bike, or the parents really wouldn't let you have one. And then you finally got your independence and you're out of home, and then you'd go and buy a bike and get your license that way. But I was on the other end of the thing. Like, I have two older brothers, and they race speedway and motocross, so the bikes were always in my family, and well, I was destined to be a petrol head. Like, it's just I'll never change my childhood. Like, it was the best thing growing up. But it was weird. I got two older brothers. I got brothers, but then going through high school and growing up and doing the schooling and all that, it was more like I was a solo kid. Because my brothers all married and gone. So it was weird. It's like you're more of a solo kid growing up, an individual in that regards, but then you had brothers, but they were all grown up and gone, and so it was quite weird to get your head around. Right? But they'd be racing speedway, and Gary, he'd be racing his motocross on club days, and I'd stop and watch him race. But then when he had to wait for his heat again, that's when I'd jump on my little MR50. That was my first bike, and I'd ride around the pits and upgraded to a 75 after that. Then stepped up to a 200. Like, I remember all the bikes I had. I love bikes. I was just, like I said before, many a times, like, I'm one of those kids where I was with Dad would be driving back from Collector, which is where your sister lived, between Goulburn and Canberra. And he'd go, they're coming. I'll be there in the back. I'm at XTGT. I'm on the back seat of the XTGT. He's going, they're coming. He goes, what? He goes, look behind. I'll be up on the back seat looking out the back window, and there'd be 2 or 3 Harleys or a road bike or whatever. I'm mainly Harleys back then. And you widen the window down.
Because you want to hear him go past.
You want to hear it, and just go. And that's and at that time they were riding low riders and shovels and all that way back then. That's why I dug this style, and that's what I wanted, and that's what I got. So it was just that childhood dream, and eventually getting one. Like, they're expensive. We all know that. And I couldn't afford another one, so I got what I wanted straight up, and you look after it and ride it and exploit it. So that's love the Exploited. Good band that too. Love the old punk groups. Okay, we'll jump on to the next one. No, that's cool. Yeah, a lot of people either grown up, like you said, either you're growing up with it on dirt bikes, or you did it the hard way, and when you got your independence and whatnot, you could do it yourself.
That's it.
And I remember I've said the story before too. We're at a mate's fucking his brother's birthday party, and they had a PE 50 there, and we kicked him off it. And his mates and me and our mates, we all stole it and was riding around the backyard around the.
I remember you telling me that story.
Yeah. And Lee Courage, he was a little skinny Aboriginal kid, and there's a whoop in the driveway in the grass, and his knees hit the ground, and fucking dragged him off it. It's funny. You had to be there type of situation, of course, but it was a good one.
Classic.
All right, this one, is the drones. What's your worst drone experience you've encountered? Or part B, if you haven't got a drone, your favourite band you've seen live?
Well, I don't have a drone experience personally, but I've heard enough of them from other people. I'm looking at you, Rog, from Throttle Down Under. Sorry, I keep saying Throttle Down Under. Harley Throttle Juice.
I don't know why, but I think it's a common
it's just
thing.
Rog Rob. Their names are so cool.
Rob. Throttle,
I should just think of I should just think of Rochelle anyway, because she's prettier than Rog anyway. So, but I've heard a few stories from him. But favorite band that I've seen live. Oh man, that's a tough one because there's been so many, especially when I was growing up, and I've been around music all my life, so I've seen a lot of stuff.
Give us three that sort of stand out for you.
Oh, the three that probably stand out, I would say, first off, would have to be Iron Maiden. I'm a massive Iron Maiden fan.
Oh, ditto. Yeah.
A lot of people are surprised when I tell them I'm a metalhead because they just go, I never would have picked it. But the only metal shirts I've got are Iron Maiden shirts. I've got like 10 of them.
Remember the posters? I had my bedroom full of posters. The Aces Eye and Power Slave and Number of the Beast.
I'm a tragic Iron Maiden fan. I've got all their albums.
Same.
I've got vinyl. I've got CDs. I've got some cassettes hidden away somewhere. I've got posters. I've got flags. Yeah. I saw them live here in Australia when they came out in, 2008, I think.
Oh, later. I went in.
Yeah, later. Yeah, 92. I didn't see them earlier.
Yeah, 92. They played the Fear of the Dark tour at the Horden Pavilion. That's when I went to see Magic.
Well, see, I didn't live here then. I was in the States, and I was in the States for a few years. So when I moved back, then they'd gone to the States, and it was just bad timing. Didn't work out. But
4 a.m. over there. You're right. Drew woke up hell on wheels. I had him on a while ago. He's just woke up 4 a.m. to catch the live.
That's dedication.
It is. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But Iron Maiden would be one of them. Another band that I really like that I don't listen to them too often, and they're not as active as they used to be, but they're called Voyager, and they're an Aussie like sort of electronic metal band from Perth.
Yeah.
And when I first saw them was at a gig where we had metal gigs I usually used to put on 10 years ago. We're all just like they'd have 10 or 15 bands in the lineup,
Yeah.
So you get up and play 5 songs, sweat your ass off, and get off stage.
Yeah, like Metal for the Brain they have in Canberra, like that.
That sort of thing, yeah. And I remember seeing these guys for the first time at like the Annandale Hotel, and I thought these guys are great, like they were just really good musicians, and the music was really good. But I wasn't going to say but I was going to say when I went up to them afterwards, I said, "Oh, where are you guys from?" And they said, "Oh, Perth." I said, "Really?" Because I said, if you said, you were from like Sweden or something, I would have gone, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense," because their music was quite sort of European influence.
Yeah.
And it's funny now, only recently, like last week, they posted a post on Facebook saying that they've entered a song into the next Eurovision and they're gonna represent Australia. So
good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. But they're a really cool band to see. Just from a musician's point of view, watching other musicians play, you can just appreciate how good they were.
Yeah,
You know?
I do that too when I watch a play. Like I only played the keyboard back as a kid till I was 17 and gave up and just stuck with me riding. But you can tell with my videos and all that, I love music and I always dig up different songs to the mainstream and wide variety. But you do watch someone like drummers like that. Slipknot drummer Jay, like, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
Lars used to be the main one back in the day, and then your bass players, Steve Harris from Iron Maiden, and Jason Newston way back when he was in Metallica, and now they got that. You do appreciate the ones that can play. And Slash and all that. Like, it's just magic. There's the musos that can just do that. It's second nature to them.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And got a third one?
Oh, third band. Look, I'd have to say Manowar is another one that I've seen that just. I mean, there's so many others, but I'd probably say that Manowar was another one. They were absolutely fucking loud.
Yeah. Drew's right here. He goes, Lars is a child play compared to today's talent. Exactly right. Especially the chicks that are on YouTube. Like, there's a German chickie. She just plays covers or Slipknot, and they're teenagers, and they're just killing it.
I've seen some of those. They make me feel bad.
Yeah.
Make me feel like giving up.
It's funny how you said that other group you said before, like the electro sort of
Voyager.
Yeah, Voyager. I'm guessing they said because back in the Metal for the Brain, we've seen a couple of them a few years in a row in Canberra when I was playing baseball and living there. There's a group there that I watched there, and Super Heist, and they're a Melbourne group from Victoria.
Yeah.
And they're brilliant. They're just I ended up buying 2 of their albums after that concert and all that, and been following them a fair bit. And in '01 when we moved up here, we're in Coffs Harbour, and they played at the Holy Moly. And I went there, and fuck, man, it's the loudest concert I've ever been to. My ears run for a day and a half. Like, I thought I fucked my hearing up real bad.
Yeah.
I was working at a screen printing joint up there, and they go, "Oh, we go what like this?" And they go, "Oh no," because there was another young fella in the graphic section. They said, "Oh no, you're going like Chris. You're going out partying and drinking at the middle of the night and all this." And I said, "No, it was just a Super Heist. I just see him like fuck. I've seen him in Canberra and all that, but to see him in a little pub, it was too much. Like, it was too small a venue, and it was just so noisy. And you're right near the speaker. You could just feel it. It was wild, and I was deaf for 2 days. So it was. I'm glad I got the hearing back, but I was worried.
Bloody oath, mate. I would be too.
Yeah, and they're awesome. They're really good live. And I played one of their songs, a few of their songs the other day for me young fella, and he goes, "Who's this?" And I said, "Oh, this is Super Heist." And he goes, "They're an Aussie band. I play from Victoria." And he goes, "Oh yeah, they're not bad." And I said, "I know, mate. That's why I listen to them."
Don't listen to bad music, mate.
Exactly. Well, they've been all brought up on AC/DC and all that. When I got the youngest fella, Tyler, he's walking around in the walker and he's head banging to Henry Rollins, Come In and Burn, that album. On the way to the cage, he's got that one on. He's in the walker, head banging, walking around the kitchen. Right, next one. Tell us something mischievous about yourself that your oldies don't know about.
Oh man. Shit. I got to think for a second there. I'd probably say, like, I mean, most kids have probably done this. They've broken something of mum or dad's. Yeah. Mum used to have these figurines. Like, mum was a bit of a religious nut, and she had a picture, like not a picture, a figurine, one of those Ladro porcelain figurines of like Mary holding Joseph or something. I can't remember what it was, but anyway, I was kind of playing with it like an action figure, and and I broke the arm off it one day, and I had to figure out how to fix it. And luckily, I remembered, because the first thing I was going to do was go for nail polish.
Yeah,
and I thought, well, that's not going to work. It's not, but I found the super glue. And I put it back on there, and I didn't know I didn't know how super glue worked back then, so I got it all over my fingers, and it was everywhere. It was horrible, but I stuck it back on there, and I spent a lot of time putting the right amount of pressure on that arm, and you could still see the crack, so I was a bit sort of like, oh no, and I put it back in its place, and I thought, I hope Mum never finds out. And then, literally about 2 days later, she walked past the bench top where it used to sit, and she knocked it with a shopping bag, and it fell off there, and it broke, and the arm broke in the exact same spot. And I never told her that it already had broken. She thought she'd done it. So sorry, Mum. It was me.
Mate, you got away. That's all good.
That's it. She thought it was her, and I never said anything. I was never going to say anything. She would have got the wooden spoon out for sure.
Fucking wooden spoon. Been through a few of them, I tell you.
Oh, so I've broken a few of them on my backside too.
Yeah, exactly. And then you fucking go and find the wooden spoon, and you cut the handle off them so they can't use it. Did you do this? No.
Nah.
Don't know what happened.
Bloody hell. Yeah, so that's probably the only one I can think of.
That's all good. Next one is what's your most favourite sport to play or watch live or on telly? Yeah.
Yep. I used to be massive in the sport. These days, I can't even sit down for 5 minutes to watch it.
Yeah.
I used to, I grew up in America, so the big thing for me was like baseball and gridiron and all that stuff, and that's where I really got into sport. Here in Australia, I think I was just still a bit too young to bother with cricket or footy or anything like that. And and when I came here, I was, we all the school sports, I used to just go into every single one of them, tennis, footy, whatever it was. And I was always in there. I was always doing. I've even got sports awards and stuff for everything I did, and I loved footy. And my mate in high school, who unfortunately passed away in a car accident a long time ago.
Yeah.
Him and I used to go to all the footy games in our area. We'd go to St. George Oval and watch the Saints. And we weren't even followers of them. We just go every weekend. We'd go to the footy games. And then when Super League came in, that kind of ruined it for both of us, because his team went to Super League and mine was still in the NRL. So we couldn't go watch each other's games, or, because it was two different things. And sometimes they were on at the same time. And that all just ruined it for both of us. And we just stopped caring about it. And even now, like, one of the bands I'm in, this one here, actually, I just realized I'm wearing the shirt. Like the drummer and the guitarist, the guitarist is the singer as well. It's his band. They talk about cricket and all sorts of stuff, and I'm in the back of the car falling asleep and couldn't care less.
Yeah, exactly.
But I used to be big into it, and now just not anymore. I couldn't give a shit about it. And even a couple of weeks ago, when the government put the new regulations back in for live entertainment, I was having a go at the rules and the changes on Facebook the other day, and I said, stupid bloody cricket's on. You can go there and have 20,000 people watching it, but you can't have 200 people in a pub. And someone corrected me and said, no, not the cricket, mate, it's the tennis. And I wrote back saying, I just said, I don't care who it is. I said, it's just some rich bastard hitting the ball. I don't care.
Yeah.
So I used to love sport. Now I don't care. And even motorsports, like, I used to watch the MotoGP. I'd go down to Phillip Island every year, watch the Formula One, all that stuff, Dakar, everything. And now I just kind of log in and just see the highlights on YouTube and go, oh, yeah, that's who's winning. Cool. Yeah, see you next week.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Like, I'm used to be a mad diehard supercar fan, but like, as soon as Scotty Mac left and he's gone to Indy cars and all that, it's too. You can pick it now. Like, you knew, okay, Ben Gisbergen's going to win it this year, and then bang, he took out the series last year, and then like with the GP, like, okay, there is an Aussie in there now. I noticed the other day, but there's no big names like back when Gardner and Dillon and all that were racing. It was really competitive, and I was more into the super bikes. I was a Troy Corsa fan myself, even though I'm living in Baylor's country. Like, Troy Corsi, he was a magic rider. And then Gary McCoy, when he started, I remember his race, he went to switched to Yamaha.
Yeah.
He was going about 14th and it was pissing down rain in South Africa GP. And you could watch him. I was watching him coming from 13th all the way through the field because he was just passing them under the brakes on the slide.
Yeah.
The back tire had gone off. And he was
I remember that. I was actually saying that story, that exact same story yesterday to a mate of mine.
Yeah.
And talking about Gary McCoy back end sliding out. I remember the commentators going crazy.
Yeah.
You know, Yamaha didn't like it because he was going through tires all the time. And and I remember that. I can visualize that race right now. And I remember seeing his back end
down, and he just got in front of Checker, but he still had 6 laps to go. But his tire was that shredded. Then he couldn't stream, drift or streamline behind anyone to catch it in front. When he got in front, he couldn't pull away, so he just had to hold it there. And, that was awesome. That was one of the best GP races I've seen, other than the Gardner and Doohan one back in the day.
Yeah. I'll tell you a quick MotoGP story that no one believes me because there's no proof, no evidence it happened. So believe it or not, but it is a true story. I was down at Phillip Island one year, and a whole bunch of my mates and I, we used to go down. And sometimes if like one of their brothers or sisters was going down, they'd drive. So we put all our gear in the car and we just ride down on our bikes without any gear on it. So it was nice and easy.
Yeah.
And we were down there a couple of days before the race, and we went to the Cows go-kart track, with the lawnmower powered go-karts.
Yeah.
And we thought, let's go for a bit of fun on the go-kart track. So we went on there, and just as we were getting onto the seat on the go-kart, and this was 1999, actually. Yeah, that was one of the last. Yeah, because it was one of the last GPs I went to.
Yeah.
99. I walked in. We sat down on the go-karts. The guys behind us pulling the ripcord about to start the thing. And Marco Melandri and Valentino Rossi, back when they were on like 125s and 250s, walked in.
Starting coming through, yeah.
They walked in, they sat down on their go-karts, and we were on the track with them, go-kart racing them, and they absolutely annihilated us. They lapped us twice like it was stupid.
Yeah.
They were machines. But then when we finished up, we got off the track, and my mates were like, we should maybe ask them for a photo, and they were a bit embarrassed. And I thought, no, I'm just going to ask them. So I just yelled out to him. I said, Melandri, Valentino. And I said, come over here and take a photo. Oh, yeah, okay. And they were really friendly and really nice. We got arms around them, taking photos. It was all good. Got back to Sydney days later after the MotoGP, and my mate's sister rang me midweek, and she says, you're not going to like this. I said, what? She said, there's no film in the camera.
No.
So it never happened, believe it or not. It's just the memory.
You told the story, you're there, but it's all there. Exactly right.
It's all there.
You get plenty of stories like that, and then they believe you or not. So it's usually the way.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Who was the other GP rider coming up through the ranks? He crashed in every. I don't know if it was Rossi.
Oh,
was it Rossi?
I don't know if it was.
No,
Rossi.
It was Biaggi.
Biaggi was the one who always used to crash. Yeah,
Biaggi. He started in 125, and in his first debut he crashed it. Then took out that round. Then went to 250s. First day road he crashed it. And then when he went into the 500s, he did the same thing. He crashed it on the first race of every debut he went to. Yeah,
I'll never forget that. Yeah, I'll never forget Biaggi when he did actually win one, and he did that bloody wheelie where he nearly flipped the bike around.
Yeah, beyond the pivot.
Unbelievable. You can see his back brake, just his foot just smashing down on that back brake. Go.
You just got it in time.
Please God, please work.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. But I hadn't watched a GP race since Doohan and Gardner and what obviously Stoner. I was watching sort of when Stoner was racing, but Superbikes I was riding near, like I said before. And who's the other one? Rainey. Was it Rainey ended up getting paralysed? It was him.
Oh, was it Rainey? Yeah.
Was it Rainey or the Yankee?
I'm trying to remember now.
There was a couple of them ended up crashing. Wayne Rainey it was, I'm pretty sure.
I think so, yeah. But anyway, yeah.
But yeah, even way back then, it was when Corsa was racing Dukes and all that, and then the Baylors come on the scene, and then Corsa went to Kajiva, and when they come into the scene and all that, and all that stuff. All right. Now, the next one, completely different off the rails. This one here, like it's okay. What celebrity does it for you? Who you would not kick out of bed?
Actually, you know what? This is perfect timing because right now, my partner Janine and I we're going through the Hunger Games movies, and I have to say, probably one of the very few. I don't have too many celebrity crushes, but one of them has to be. I've forgotten her name now. What's her name? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's how much I like her. That's how much I care about her.
Yeah, that chick.
Yeah, what was her name?
Was that the chick in the Hunger Games?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've only watched that a few times. I haven't watched the whole lot.
Yeah.
So she's a bit too young for me, I think.
Yeah. Janine, what's the name of the chick in Hunger Games? She can't remember either.
Well, that chick.
Yeah. I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, she's pretty hot. I wouldn't kick her out of bed, even if she left cookie crumbs in there.
Yeah, or skid marks or whatever else. Yeah.
I don't know. I've got my limits.
Yeah. Keep it on her side. Yeah, no, you probably would kick her out of bed if they did that.
Yeah, I think so. I think anyone would. Bloody hell.
That's the one chucking that one in.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, what have we got next after that?
My next one's pretty good. It's what's your poison? Beer, spirit, cider, and your favourite hangover brekkie?
Look, I love a beer, mate, and having a podcast called Bikes, Burgers, Beers, and a YouTube channel, it pretty much says a lot.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't drink too many ciders because a lot of them I find really sweet, and it's just like fizzy cordial for me.
Yeah, I'm not a cider fan. I had a mouthful that one day and I said, no, that shit, you can take it back. I think it was an old Strongbow thing. I said, give us a try that. Try it again. That's shit. Don't like it. You take it back. I'm used to the old beer, Pilsen and whatnot. So.
That's it. No, I stick to the beer mostly. That's probably my number one thing I always go to. And I don't mind spirits every now and then. Like if I'm out somewhere and like in a nice bar or something, I won't start off on beer. I'll probably have one or two little, whiskey sort of cocktails, whether it be an old fashioned or a dark and stormy.
Yeah.
But it's Scotch whiskey based, and then I don't mind a gin and tonic every now and then, but only if it's good gin. I can't stand rubbish gin.
Yeah.
But I'll stick to beer. Can't go wrong with it. Cold, wet, and free. It's the best kind of thing.
I don't mind the old the dark and stormy also. Like it's just it's only one I could sort of drink with rum, the old Bundy dark and stormies are nice.
Yep.
And old Scotch, anything with dry, really, Scotch and dry, fucking Canadian cold with dry.
Yeah.
Jack Daniels, Gentleman Jack and dry, straight even, but the main dry.
Janine just said Jennifer Lawrence, and I just saw Roads of Oz. Patty has said Jennifer Lawrence as well.
And it even says me Selma Heta, the Mexican chick. All right, she's always.
Oh yeah.
She always did. She's in Dusk to Dawn and all that. Selma. That's the Mexican chick because I can never fucking remember her name. And these also, I've always said that Sandra Bullock and her, but virtually when I go for the dark hair, I don't mind also. The fucking Zorro chickie. What's her name? Catherine Zeta-Jones.
She's all right.
She's a bit all right too.
Yeah.
Wouldn't kick her out. She'd probably kick me out though. But anyway, karate and whatever else.
Get me in the first place. Classic. Nah, beer's the thing for me. Yeah. Love it.
Next
what do we
one.
got? Next question.
There's another one too. Like, there's a few out there like the dark-haired ones. It's just something about them.
Oh, no, another one. Another one I like
brunettes
is
and blondes. Yeah.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah. No, another one I like is what's her name? The chef on TV, Nigella Lawson.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
She can
can cook
cook
me
too.
anything she
Yeah,
likes. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Anyone that cooks, you reckon, I mind. Yeah, no
yeah.
worries.
I don't
And
know. She can make me toast with butter on it. I'll be happy.
yeah, exactly.
Uh,
It's like she kick you out with both legs. Exactly right.
uh, thank,
I'm no
thanks.
challenge at all.
Yeah, no challenge at all. uh,
Yeah,
all right,
prawns off.
what do we got on the next question?
We're still halfway through that. We got
Oh
hangover
yeah.
brekkie. What's your favorite hangover
Oh,
brekkie?
hangover brekkie.
Yeah,
Oh, look, I tell you what, like it's I don't know if most people that are on here in the chat probably know I'm vegan. So
yeah.
that always makes it hard
I do
to
now.
yeah. But but you know, like I still don't mind like a brekkie fry up. Like even now these days, there's a lot of good vegan options and substitutes
Well,
that,
it's
that
funny you
aren't.
say that because I'm a PKU and all that. Growing up being strict, I was a strict sort of veggie and
Oh,
fruitarian.
okay,
All I can
yeah,
have was
right,
veggies and fruit. But I'd have
right,
fry up, especially mushies, tomato, and
yeah.
well, no bacon back then. But when I
Mm,
hit 13, I could have one piece of bacon a week. That's how strict my diet
wow,
was. Yeah,
jeez.
and I could only have bacon mainly because it was
Mm,
fatty and because it
yeah,
wasn't really a steak or a chop or like
yeah,
real blood red meat because it was
yep,
fatty bacon and a thin piece. Being
yep.
13, it was or once it's a piece of bacon or a sausage, one a week.
Right.
That's what I was
Okay.
sort of limited to. And now I fucking eat it
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
I love the pig, filthy animal, but the fucking taste is meat.
Yeah. But yeah, I kind of, like a good fry up, couple of
Yeah,
snags, toast, lots of butter on it. And, there's vegan butters and all that stuff that are really good. And,
yeah.
yeah, you kind of, these days, it's kind of hard to miss out on anything if you're a vegan,
So with that,
unless you
just
go
a
to
question.
places. Yeah.
Just with the butter, like you're
Yeah.
saying, vegan butter is what's in the butter that's not vegan? What is it? The egg or something like that, or the lard, or the fat, or
Yeah, well,
what's?
it's because butter's derived from the milk, so
Yeah, I
a
gotcha.
lot of the times, yeah, as a vegan, you don't have milk either. You don't have any of the animal products that come with it too. So it's not just about not eating meat; it's also
Okay.
about no milk, no cheese, no butter, that sort of thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But like I said, there's all vegan options that are really good. A lot of the
Well,
cheeses, the vegan
that's
cheeses from
sort
the
of like I was.
supermarket are a bit, they're a bit
Yeah,
ordinary. So you got to be picky and choosy, but I kind of don't have it too often anyway. It's kind of more of a treat. So
yeah.
yeah,
That's Well, that's pretty much how strict my diet was back in the day growing up. Like
yeah,
protein wise, because mine being a PKU, it's not just you can't eat meat. I can't have
mm,
protein. I had to make my own bread. I had to have gluten free bread. We had I couldn't have too much butter, like I said, and minimum pieces if I could. And
yeah,
milk, I couldn't have milk. I could only
yeah.
I'd have to have cream. Like cream was lighter than milk, so with less
Okay.
protein in it.
Yep, yep.
And cheese, I couldn't have cheese
Mm,
because it was protein. And eggs, I could never eat. And
right.
which is yeah, it's just a really strict high protein. I had
Yeah.
to cut out the protein because being the PKU, which you got your warning labels on the back of your Diet Coke bottles, it says
Mm,
phenol curiax beware. It's got NutraSweet in it, which is
right.
the phenylalanine in it, which means my
Wow.
kidneys can't break it down. I think that's what the thing
Okay.
was. So
Yeah.
and that
Wow.
if I didn't stick to that diet growing up as a kid, like it's till your brain develops, till you're over
Yeah.
21, and then after
Yeah.
that, you're grown up, you're adult, you're fine, you can sort of stick with it or not. Where I have a premix amino acid dietary drink I have to have every morning from since I was born. But
Yeah.
you do it every day, you're used to it, so you do it.
Yeah.
But
That's it.
growing up as a kid, it's that strict and it was leveled on, it's measured on units. So
Right.
as a kid growing up, you like even a baby, you had 8 units. So, uh, and a guide of it is fruits free, vegetables are free,
Yep.
Then you got bread, like normal bread is 4 units per one slice. So you'd have gluten-free bread where that was ended up jumping bean-free because it cuts out all the dough and the other stuff. And you had to weigh everything. It was just really, and the Diet Coke it's a NutraSweet. Like I said, your kidneys couldn't break it down growing up, and if you did, you'd end up being mentally retarded and disabled and things like that. So
far
you
out.
sort of had to stick by it, and it's pretty gnarly. But I'm still here at 52. I was like, I weren't expected to make 20. So
me neither.
I'm exactly right. So I'm happy, still going. It's all good.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, hell yeah. I have to get another beer. I drank that one ages ago. I'll let you read that one while I go get one.
Okay. Oh, yeah, down the bottom there. I'll read this one out to people who are here. On life, what advice would you give the 15-year-old you?
Exactly.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, there's some easy advice here, and then there's the hard advice. The easy advice is don't get married. Just don't do it. Because I knew in my bones, deep down, not getting married, not having kids. I knew it all my life, but I did it because you go through the motions and there's family pressures and I went through all that. But it was one of the worst and incorrect decisions I made in my life. I've learnt from it, and I'll never do it again. But luckily, I'm in a pretty good relationship now. But we always joke and say if we did get married, it would be for my passport, like Italian passport or something, so we could go to Europe. But I haven't applied for my Italian passport, so
I think mine fucking runs out soon.
Janine just walked in the room and went, I'll marry you for your passport.
Exactly.
But that's probably what I'd probably tell myself the biggest thing.
Here we come.
But I don't really have any other big regrets in life where I can go back and say, 15-year-old me, don't do this or do this instead. Even now, I've been going through a lot of stuff over the last 2 years with my music career because of the pandemic, and that's cut things out completely. And as most people will know, having chatted to me in person, and I just sort of think, well, I still wouldn't change anything, because what's going on right now is not my fault and not my doing. If it was me and I sort of went, you know what, I've spent the last 10 years doing this and it hasn't worked, I'd go back and tell 15-year-old me, you know what, do better in school or stick to that trade or, that job you had, keep that one, don't.
It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because then if you do sort of go back and tell you to do that and you do it, then you'll end up having a different life anyway. It might be a bit easy because you might have a bit more money because you save up a bit more, but then you don't know what avenue you're going to follow. So
that's it.
What to learn.
Yeah. I've got no other advice to give 15-year-old self except for don't get married.
The main one, I guess, I'd probably say is just trust your instinct. If you got a gut feeling, go with it. And
absolutely,
definitely. One would be if you want to do something, do it because there's no use waiting, hanging around if you're going to or not. So do it. If you're going to do it, think about doing it. Do it.
Yeah,
because you're sitting back and thinking, I should have done that. Well, you should have done it. So.
Yeah, well, see, I learned that lesson really early in life because I've had a lot of friends and all my family passed away pretty much. I've had nothing since my, very early in life. I've sort of, short story, my mother, who was the last immediate family member that passed away, she didn't do herself any favors in life. And I used to even see that as a kid and go, Mum, what are you doing? Like, give yourself a fighting chance, give yourself something. And she'd always just disregard it. And I was, dumb kid saying stupid stuff, go to your room or something. But I always grew up thinking, nah, that's one thing I think I'm right at. And as I got into my teens, I remember kids in school, like all us boys, when we started driving, especially, would always have these, shitbox Datsun Sunnies and all sorts of stuff, and Honda Civics and all that. And
there's one rally driver down in Nara. He
yeah,
was that good a rally driver. He was a sweeper, and he had a Datsun Sunny, and he'd come through, and he'd hit the tracks quicker than the rally drivers. And that was in the Datsun Sunny.
Yeah, they were pretty good cars, but when you're a kid, you look at them and go, "Well, it's not a Porsche. It sucks,"
Exactly.
But
his name was Turtle. I don't know why, because he wanted Turtle.
But I remember, like, all these kids would talk about their dream cars and all their, things they want to do. And I keep in contact with a few mates from high school, and some of them still haven't done what they wanted to do in their childhood or their high school or even their early adulthood in their 20s and 30s. Now we're all in our sort of mid 40s, and they still haven't done what they want to do. Like, one guy we had who was just absolutely obsessed with rotaries and RX3s and RX7s, and
I love them too. I'm a real V8 petrol head, but the rotary, they're just amazing machines.
They're incredible. You're like, I love them or hate them. Engineering that went into having a tiny little engine like that produce so much power.
Engine.
Yeah, basically. And so even now, like, I don't talk to this guy. We're not really mates. Through no reason, just But I know I've got some mates who still do talk to him every now and then. They'll see him at weddings or they'll see him at and he still hasn't bought a rotary, and he's nearly 48 now. It's just like, hang on, you were talking about those cars 30 years ago, and it still hasn't happened. Come on, mate. And I know life gets in the way and things happen. You can't always do everything you want to do. But at the same time, I just sit there and look at it and go, and it reminds me of my mum. Like, she's on her deathbed and there's, 15 things that she could rattle off the top of her head that she never achieved that she wanted to.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've kind of grown up going, nah, just do it. If you feel like it, just do it, and that's why I've always followed my passion for music. I've always followed my passion for motorcycles. And
that's definitely the one I would be choosing, because like you said, but my mum, she's the most negative person I've ever fucking known. It wasn't until probably 10 years ago or 5 years ago that I actually realised that. Like, growing up, like, everything, I know you can't do that or this, or you'll never be a better motorbike rider than your brother Gary because he raced motocross and just shit like that. And then I thought about a while ago, or back then when I was fucking 8, 6, 10, whatever years ago, I realised fucking all the time, like, whenever I wanted to do something and set my goal to it, then she'd knock you down. And, like, she's the most negative person I've known.
Yeah.
My brothers, we all notice that as well. Like, she's a piece of work, but she's the mum and she kept me alive. So
that's
you got to love her in that regards. But
absolutely,
and it's honestly, that's the only reason, because like she's the most negative person you ever known. Like, you can't do that. Oh, I should have done this, and I hated it because I realised that's how she made me growing up as a teenager, going through school, being very cautious and whatnot. But then mine would be, like I said, trust your gut feeling. If you're going to do something, do it.
Yep.
You might not be here tomorrow and things like that. And
that's it, man.
You just got to take any chance that you can and enjoy it and just have fun, but look after yourself. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. That's definitely mine. Oh, we'll see Alex Trani. What's this? Matt, fuck yeah. My brother had the XU1, LJ.
Yeah, one of our mates in high school let one rust in his driveway, and some guy came and picked it up for $300.
Yeah, 350,000 now, and then some.
Yeah, even with the rusted out floor.
Exactly. Well, that's a lookalike. That's probably just an LJ Tirana done up, like, and it sounds like, with the GDR badges and fucking stickers on it. Yeah, my brother had original 95, 75, 74 model at the last of the GDRs, and they did it up. My brothers, Terry's a fitter and turner, and Gary's a mechanic, and they're 2 years apart, and they're growing up through school. And like I said, I wouldn't change my childhood. My mum would say, "Take Stevie with you," and like, you're getting chased by cops, and I just couldn't catch any. It was just back in the 70s. It was wild. Like the Hoey's, Bathurst was you get out in the back front yard, and there's a Monaro, there's a Hoey, there's a GDR LC Tirana 186, and there's a
beautiful
HQ Monaro, and there's panel van, and there's a Premier, and the old man had the XC GT, and like, I was. And then speedway races and motocross riders. I had no chance. If I didn't want to be a petrol head, I had no chance. But I was lucky. I loved it. So I was in the back seat and sliding around every corner every time they were going in the corner because there's no seat belt in the back of the Tirana.
No seat and no seatbelt and slippery vinyl.
Exactly right. I'd unroll the seat because I make it nice and shiny, and then you slide from one side to the other. So.
That's it. Oh, classic.
Rochelle's just getting stuck in the road. Why didn't you take me for a spin in the LX? Good stuff. Fuck, you are a good couple. You're awesome. Right, next one. Here we go. What we got? Where's the start? What's your favorite? I say, what's your favorite thing you yourself love about your channel and YouTube in general?
Well, I'll start with YouTube in general. What I love about YouTube is that you can look up if you don't know how to do something, you can look it up and someone's done it.
Exactly.
And
very even the other that way.
Even the other day, my mate who's been on my channel a few times, Going Fast, and we've done a few of those off-road trips around the Blue Mountains when I had the Royal Enfield Classic 500.
Yeah,
and he just said to me yesterday, I think there's a fork seal leak or something on his bike, and I said, oh yeah, and it's the BMW GS, so it's got the tele lever front suspension, but I think the shock absorbers are still the fork tubes. They still have oil in them, and then it's got the mono shock for the tele lever part. And I said, I've never touched one of them. Like I've ridden a few and I've done services on them, but I've never done the suspension on one of them. He said, I've got the workshop manual. It's pretty easy. And I thought, I'll just go on YouTube and look it up. Someone will have done it, and I'll just watch what they do and go, oh yeah, because I've got the tools. I've got fork seal drivers. I've got all sorts of stuff. I can do the work, but just being unfamiliar with something, you kind of want to watch how it's done. But even recently getting the Royal Enfield Himalayan, I want to do more off-road trails. And actually, that goes back to before talking about my YouTube channel and what I want to do with it. One of the things is I want to do some more off-road riding and camping trips with it.
Yeah, I sort of caught on to that when you said that before. Or that, you got your new off-roader. Yeah, you definitely want to hit the trails like G-Spot and old matey up in Grafton. Yeah,
that's it. Although I don't think I can be as funny as Moto G-Spot. He's a bloody funny bastard.
Yeah, he's a crazy.
Yeah. But I thought, it's so easy to just go, oh, I wonder what this trail looks like, because you look at, I got off-road maps here, I got topographical maps, but you can't tell if a trail's good enough to ride on, or if it's open or shut. And you can go on YouTube and there's a four-wheel driver who's done the trail, and you can watch him go through everything and go, that's an easy trail, or oh, hang on, no, that's got water up to your petrol tank, that's not going to do. And it's nice to be able to see that. That's what I love about YouTube in general. But what I love about my channel the most is the amount of people that are on the channel who support the channel and are commenting and thumbs up. And I don't do many premieres these days anymore, because I kind of found trying to organize it and do it on a certain day. And I did, like talking about falling into the trap before, I was looking at all the analytics and going, oh, this day works best for me, according to the analytics. But then I'd do it and then nothing would happen. I'd get like 2 people turn up to the prem, which, like, I don't blame them. People are busy, Exactly, I'm so busy these days, I rarely ever have the time to jump on someone's prem. So I always
and I'm asleep.
Yeah,
Go to
or
bed
that,
really
but
early.
most of the time I'm either gigging or recording or doing something. So now what I do is I just add it all to my watch later list, and I watch it later, and then I comment and thumbs up, especially all the guys that support me, and I try to support them.
Yeah,
But that's what I love about most with my channel is that having, all the guys, and some of them are here in this chat, and they always comment, they always take the time to watch the videos, and
exactly.
they're big supporters and lovers of what I
Yeah,
do, and even like I've got the older videos when I used to do all the amp repairs, and that was the main subject of my channel.
yeah. I
You
remember when you did that.
occasionally, yeah, you occasionally get some people who will comment, but those videos, they're great for people who want to learn how to fix something,
Exactly.
but they'll watch it, they won't click thumbs up, they won't make a comment saying, great video, that really helps me. But what I've noticed now, talking earlier about, when the channel's now hit 1,000 subs, I've noticed now that a lot of those old videos, where I've done like amp repairs and help people out, especially this week, people have been posting more comments on those old videos, and some of them I have to watch the video again to remind myself what I did, because some of those videos are 4, 5, 6 years old. And I
Mm,
go, oh shit, what are they talking about? I'm gonna have to watch my own video to remember what I did and what I said.
yeah, exactly.
But that's what I love about it, and I just love the community about it, and yeah,
Yeah,
like
the community is a bonus, especially like all us here, like the tight knit group that we've got here
yeah,
in the chat, and like the
yeah,
Aussies. And now we are after the meetup, everyone's just so tight knit, and we're
absolutely,
all riding together, and
yeah,
can't wait to ride together again. So yeah,
that's
I
it.
can't wait
And
to
I
ride
think,
again.
yeah,
Yeah,
and originally when I kind of changed the channel, going from concentrating on amp repairs and guitar fixes to more vlogging and motorcycling, I remember saying to Rob from Throttle Down Under. I got it right this time.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Not throwing you.
Rob from Throttle Down Under. I said to him, "Man, I'd love to have a community like, I watch like Shade Tree Surgeon and all those guys in the US, and they all end up going on meets together. They ride across the country and go on camping trips together, and they all meet
Yeah.
up at biker
They seem
rallies,
to
and
have more free time than us to do that. That's what I've
they
noticed.
do, they
And
do,
yeah,
yeah,
it shits me because like, you
yeah.
can never get the time here, and
No, that's it.
they're meeting up all the time and organising
Yeah,
rides. But here,
yeah.
it's I don't know, it's just so much harder.
It is a bit harder, but at the same time, I've found what I wished for, and thanks to Rob from Throttle Down Under that made that happen, because he saw me say that, and he basically went, all right, join this group. We've got this version of it here in Australia,
Yeah,
and it's our version of it, and not everyone can be available all the time, but like you said, meeting up on rides, doing the meetup to start with, that was a great thing to have. And and since then, a lot of other offshoots, personal friendships and relationships have started with
yeah,
a few people here and there, and like going out to dinner or going out for a ride, or going, like I remember when Chewy and Harley Throttle Juice, Rog and who else was there? I think Rob went along too. They did a photography thing in the city,
yeah,
and I love those videos. I watch those thinking, oh man, that's awesome, and
yeah.
there's a great little
I'm,
friendship happening
I'm
there. And
still watching our meetup videos, and that was like fucking 2 months ago. Like it's,
yeah, yeah,
like it's just everyone's done such a good video.
yeah,
And you watch it and he goes, I remember I was sitting on the log there and I go, which one was that in? Oh, yeah, that was in Rogers, say, or it was in Ben's. So you watch Ben's,
yeah,
and I got that in a
yeah,
playlist, and it just goes through them all. And like
yeah,
even like your podcast it's not going now, but I often go back and just listen to the last one because it's a quick half-hour one,
yeah.
and we're there. And it was just you can tell the happy vibe of the whole weekend
Oh, it was amazing.
in the way
Yeah,
everyone was interviewed and how we're all talking,
that's
and
it.
it was just such a good weekend. And
Yeah, that's why I'm looking forward to the next one coming up in August. That's going to be
oh,
great.
exactly,
Yeah, I
yeah,
can't wait for that. I can't wait for that.
me too. Especially
Yeah.
it's a bonus for me because it's so close to my hometown. Like I
Mm.
call them to see mum and dad. if anything, like I said before in my video, like I'll plan whoever wants to come will meet up on the way down and try and organise a bit of a pub crawl, a bit of a stop.
Oh, yeah.
I was sort of thinking like Scarborough and then then down Kiama.
Yeah.
Then stop at the Berry Donut Wagon, have a donut.
Always. You gotta stop there.
I haven't been there for ages. Since it's been bypassed, I haven't had a Berry Donut.
And neither have I.
Berry Donuts, they're the best.
They're the best in the country.
Yeah. Not just in New South Wales, they're the best.
Like, and they're made for people who don't know that are listening. They make them fresh on the spot, so you don't just order them and you get them in 5 seconds. You've got to wait 5-10 minutes for them.
You get them,
there's always a lineup.
And they're stinking hot.
They're hot. They're fresh and they melt in your mouth. They're amazing. But I'm just looking at my calendar because I'm going to be playing at the Southern Hotel in Berry in 2 weeks. So
really,
I'm going to be doing when I get down there.
Berry Donut is not good anymore. Why?
Oh, why? What's happened to that? Okay, well, I'll have to go down there and find out.
Yeah,
you'll know in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Last time I went there, I know the Filipino couple and all that sort of still owned it, and I was still doing pretty good. So but they've probably gone downhill because it's bypassed now, which it's probably affected it. I'm guessing.
Rochelle just said it's changed hands.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I'll do, I'll be down there in 2 weeks. I'll have a crack at it and
have a test. Have a crack at it. We usually buy 16. You know, you get packs of 8, so we buy 16 and we fucking munch on. We munch on 8, and then if we're lucky, there might be some left by the time we get to Hornsby on the other side of Sydney, heading up the Central Coast. But by 18, then we'll buy another one for the boys when we get home. But they're lucky to get some, I tell you, when we get home.
They won't be any good by then, mate. You've done them a favour.
Yeah, they've gone cold. You got to have them when they're hot.
They're going off as we speak. You got to eat them quick.
Exactly. And then I was thinking, then it's not called the Commercial no more, or the Star in Milton. You got the Stars there, but the Commercial on the corner is actually called the Milton Hotel. There's 2 pubs in Milton.
Yep.
Very close knit. And then from there, obviously, you got to call into the Marlin, $1, and then from there down to the call and see mum and dad at racecourse, and zip down to East Lynn and camp and kick on, and that's seems like a good one. When it gets close, I'll try and organise who wants to come and whatnot. I know Ben was
keen. Yeah. Well, I might even have a the Sporty might be gone by then, and I'll have something else in its place. So
have your new one.
It'll need a good run.
Yeah. In general, next question. Yeah. What are we up to? 11. Yeah, a couple more to go. Good. This one is tattoos. What's your first? Tell us a story about getting your tattoo and favourite type. Colour, black and grey. If no tattoos, then what's the main reason why you haven't had
plenty of them on there?
I had to put that in because Road Rash does not have tattoos. And him being a metalhead and whatnot, I couldn't believe that he didn't have a tattoo. But then he told me the story why he didn't have tattoos, because he's got a clone. And the clone in Canada, it looks exactly like him, was a bit of a junkie and whatnot. And he tried to nearly got arrested one day.
Oh, shit.
Because his bloke robbed something or whatever else, and he got tattoos up the arm, and because he didn't have tattoos, they couldn't pin it on him. They realised they had the wrong colour. So that's the whole reason why he never got tattoos.
That's a pretty damn good reason. Yeah.
Fucking
far out. Yeah, bloody oath. My first tattoo is I used to keep horses. I used to rescue ex-race horses, and I've got it right here on my chest near my heart. Last horse I had. So yeah, that was my first tattoo. It was just black and white, but it's a realism, it's a direct photo kind of thing. Yeah, that was my first one.
We'll have to get Chewy to get a tattoo of his guitar on his butt or something.
Saying, don't pull the G string.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Yeah, we got your tattoo design, Chewy. We just have to draw it up. Careful of the G-string.
Careful of the G-string. Oh.
G-string beware. He loves it. We got him laughing.
That's it. So yeah, that was the first tattoo, and pretty much all of my tattoos have some sort of meaning behind them.
Mine
And
do
some
too.
are,
I'm a bit that way inclined. I'll get one and I'll design it and draw it up and
yeah,
and it's all got meaning. Yeah,
that's
You're
it. Yeah, but yeah, some are color, some are just black and white, and you know, some of them are just, you know, funny. Like I've got a Lego Stormtrooper here reading the manual for the Death Star, but it's upside down.
Yeah,
You know, and that to me just signifies life in general. That, you know, you can have the manual, but you can still fuck it up.
yeah.
You know, and then yeah, other bits and pieces. First time I played in Tamworth, I got a horseshoe I drew with a cowboy hat and a cactus in it, and yeah. What else have I got? Oh, well, the fingers, which are, you know, that pretty much explains everything.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah,
I
all
remember
sorts of bits and pieces.
Yeah, I remember your story about your avocado and Vegemite on your
Oh
podcast.
yeah, that one.
Yeah, that was a good story.
If anyone, hang on, that way.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, so my mate's girlfriend passed away many years ago. Unfortunately, committed suicide due to poor mental health, and yeah, that's to signify her. But yeah, I don't know how many other people that are watching right now know the story, because I know there's a few regulars here. But
well, listen to Steph's podcast, and you'll find the story about. I can't remember which one it's in, though, but I think it might be in Rob's.
I think it was in Rob's, because he loves the tattoo every time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Rob's.
Yeah, because the first ride we did together when we went up the Central Coast with Roger and Rochelle, Rob took a photo of it. He just said, "Oh, mate, I love that tattoo," and yeah, I think it was in that episode. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure too. And I'd like to thank you for your podcast channel too, because I never listened to podcasts until Rod said, "Yeah, you got a podcast channel, and you're welcome to the group
thanks, mate.
in Instagram and all that." And now I listen to Gary Jubilant, like his podcast. I catch kills. I love the Underbelly series where they did Terry Faulkner, where he got chopped up and chucked in the river, and it was all around this area here. And funny thing about a little behind the scenes type of thing I know of, that at work, I had an informer at work, and we knew what the police had found and what was going on prior to when it come out on the news and the news reports. It was like, oh, such and such, this, that, and the other. And then he goes, oh, yeah, there's a body being chucked in the river. And then, they're after this bloke. But it just, and I love watching that Underbelly series, because it's all around here. It's around Garvin near Bulladilla and Scone, that through road there, Ball Road, up to Hastings, and they're all up and down the coast. And the actor that did Gary Jubilant, he was awesome. And just hit home. I love that one. And because I knew what was happening prior to everything coming out on the news and whatnot, it was so interesting and such a good episode, that one as well. So
nice.
I listened to that, and there's a couple other ones I listened to, but to get me on the podcast, it was mainly like logging on yours, listening to all yours, and then Gary Jubilant, and a couple of crime ones, and I think that's about it. There's only 2 or 3 or 4 that I actually follow, and that's plenty. Other than that, I got Audible, I listen to books and music mainly.
Yeah, nice.
So,
appreciate it, mate. Yeah.
And I'll get on there one day. Probably when I come down, you can do the carby on me fucking bike here.
Yeah, we'll have to get that sorted out. Bloody oath.
Yeah, we'll get that sorted. Can't have it sitting here like this. Because that's me scout what you're saying before. Trying to find tracks for watching the 4-wheel drive ride. Well, I want to jump on that so I can scout tracks where I can take the 4-wheel drive. So
that's it. Yeah. And you could just strap the GoPro to your helmet with the bike, take it out there, and it'll help out a lot of other off-roaders who are starting out and don't know what trails to go on, or if they're hard or easy or whatever, and that's kind of what I want to do, because like I said earlier, I was looking out there for trails going, well, I don't know if that trail is going to be all right, and it's just nice seeing a video going, oh, yeah, if a guy in a Royal Enfield Himalayan can do it who's got almost no experience off-road, well, at least not for the last 20 years, because I've done a fair few off-road training courses years ago, but that was back when I worked for Australia Post. They made you do them.
Yeah.
And, these days I want to, get more involved in that. And, yeah, and part of I'll just sort of quickly off topic, but in the podcast and the YouTube channel, what I'm planning on doing is hopefully doing like a off-road training day with the organization and getting them on the show. So,
exactly.
doing a video of them and hopefully just interviewing them on the podcast as well. So yeah, look out for that in the future, ladies and gents.
No, that's good. Yeah. and like you said, I think when you're sort of doing it fortnightly too, that does free you up so you can get your quality out there a bit better. Like I can understand you want to do, and also it's not as challenging for you, and it gives you a bit more breathing time to get the quality and all that out there.
That's exactly right. Yeah,
I do like the idea of just having like another sponsor and not having too many, because there is a Yankee one that I listen to. It's like 48 hours. It's like it's obviously a TV show over there, but it's just all the episodes on a podcast.
Yeah,
I've been listening to that, and like, sorry Yankees, but listening to them ones, like every 10 minutes you got an ad. Then it goes over the 10 minutes. Then it goes over the 10 minutes you just listen to, and I'll add on another 5, and then I'll go to another ad, and like you got about 20 ads in a 40-minute podcast. And
that's shocking.
They're lucky the stories are interesting, because you end up you listen to it anyway, but like there's too many ads does wreck it. And like hats off there, like you're just going to have an extra one, so you got to plug your sponsors and whatnot. I get that, and and to help you channel out, and
and it's good that all of them are on board with it, and they want to help out listeners as well with the discount codes, which are really good. And I know heaps of people that have said they've used the discount codes, and and even I do sometimes. I mean, even for the beers I do, and for the Johnny Reb gear that I've bought that I've not been received as a review, like the helmet and all that stuff. It's nice having that there. So
that's good. That's like I don't do review things. It's just that's just me. But I got there is a bag I got that I strapped to my hangers. It's called Overboard, and it's a waterproof bag. Fuck, they're brilliant. And they got. I seen an ad after I bought it. You zip it and roll it up 4 times, and then peg it. But you chuck it in the water, and it can land in the water, as you say, if you're going from boat to the dock and it falls in water, you can pull it out, and everything's bone dry in it. And that's the whole reason I got it too, because many times I've had dries of bone strapped to the hangers. And you get this, you ride into a cloud, you guess, is it going to or not? It's not going to. Then you get pissed on, and you're wringing wet, and you just got shit, wet fucking dries of bone hanging on your hangers. So that's why I sort of lashed out and got this bag.
Yeah.
I used to have my baseball bag, actually. It's too big. I was hockey strapping that to me hangers, and this one was just the right size. It's about that round, straps to the hangers. And I used it last weekend. I'm happy. It was brilliant. It was normally $50 or $60, but I got it 25% off. I got it for $30 and post and all that. And I got it, and it's doing what I want it to do. So
brilliant.
Just cram all my shit in there, put it on, and just fucking ride. And you haven't got a backpack on or a bag. I do have me throw over black bag that I take with me, where I throw my wallet and phone and all that in. But I don't. GPS is my phone. I'm not one to fucking plug a USB thing on my bike. I'll pull over and have a squeeze. Because I've got a bit of a brain when it comes to maps. So, I'll read it and then I'll go. So I've got road sense, but
I tend to follow my nose. I've got a good sense of direction, but I got a bad sense of riding anywhere. Like even actually, Maddie from Roads of Oz will attest to this, because when we went on that ride up the Central Coast with Roger and Rochelle, he came along and everyone was going to meet up in certain places, and I said, "Oh, look, I'm going to go the back way, and up through up towards like the Barara ferry and all that." And he said, "Oh, that's a much better ride than going on the M4 and just droning along at 110." I said, "Oh, well, come along." So he did. And I met up with him at Windsor, and literally in the first 100 meters, I got lost. But I figured it out, like I turned left and I went, "Nah, I got to go this way." And then when I went down that road, I thought, "Oh, this looks a bit unfamiliar. Hang on a second." And I just stopped on the side of the road and quickly looked at my phone and went, "Oh, no, I'm right. The BP's just up here.
Yeah.
Hang a left or
That's
hang a right,
exactly
sorry."
what I do. I do exactly the same thing. I do like the G Shock fucking phone clamp that everyone's got. I think looks like that one's the best one out there, but I'll never put it on my bike. I won't. I don't need it. Like, see, I'll pull over, we've got a thing. Yep, okay,
have a quick look. Yeah, off you go. Next one.
Away I go. Right? It's like looking at the old fucking Gregory's when I was in Sydney doing the apprenticeship. You get the Gregory's out, pulling the side street, have a squeeze. Oh yeah, got to go that way. And fucking away you go.
And that's what I used to do. Like growing up on the motorbike, I used to have, if I was going somewhere really unfamiliar and I needed it, I would do a photocopy of the map I needed, and I'd get the highlighter out, the highlighter texture, and I'd highlight the line I need.
Yeah.
And then, you just stop, pull the map out of your pocket, hope it didn't rain, because then you just ruin it all. But then I remember when I had my ZX6R, Sydney City Motorcycles brought out their own UBD, and it was a tiny pocket size one. It was a pain in the ass to read because everything was so small, but it fit in the spot under your seat where the toolkit went. So I just strapped the toolkit somewhere else in the bike and put the book in there. But the problem was one day I went through a massive thunderstorm. It pissed down like crazy.
Yeah.
And I completely forgot about the book. And then 2 weeks later, I pulled it out and all the pages were all just wrinkled and stuck together. And
it's like when I was doing the apprenticeship in Sydney, you didn't have GPSs back in the day. You just had the old Gregory's under the fucking passenger seat.
That's it. Yeah.
And you'd pull it out and page 57. Oh, fuck, back over at 124. And that's the way you used to do it.
That's it. That's it.
It's like even now, like you're saying, getting the road sense, because I go down to meet in Newcastle every month. It's a Toronto there, Calabar fucking bowling club.
Yeah.
And around Costco and the big Bunnings there, I sort of got it, and around Charlestown, sort of going down there and sort of know the roads, the back streets now. I'll go to Minai and I'll go in the 80K zone there, and then instead of pulling off this first exit on the highway, it's nice cruise for a little town, and then you cross over the new Newcastle Link Road.
Yeah.
And then next minute you're down there and you're in Toronto, and you point at where you want to go, and it's a better ride. So you sort of And even on the weekend, we went down yesterday to the camping show to buy a camper trailer, have a look and whatnot. Looked down there, went straight to it, near the footy oval and near the fucking entertainment centre. And then, we'll zip out and get out this way and then race back home. And,
brilliant.
Because you go and you do it that many times and you get used to your surroundings. It's just
that's it.
I guess that's just because I did my apprenticeship 4.5 years going from Ulladulla to Sydney. You just get road sense and you know what you got to do and what you got to look for, and you pick your landmarks and you know where to go. So
that's it.
You got to learn as you go. Otherwise, if not, you're just fucking useless anyway.
Yeah. That's why I've only been married once. I learned. Anyway, on that note, next question.
Next question. Yeah, it's a pretty. What's the main thing to do on your bucket list?
Oh man, I don't have much on my bucket list. Actually, you know what I'd love to do? I've dreamt about this for years, and it's actually always been a money thing rather than a time thing for me. I'd love to learn to fly a plane.
Yeah.
Like just an old Cessna. I don't want to be a jet pilot, bloody,
when you say that, I've been thinking about that to myself. Like, I see someone like they're flying planes on other YouTube channels where they've got a helicopter and they learn to fly a helicopter. There's a drone couple, I can't remember their names, but he flies a helicopter and they're photographers and they do drones and whatnot.
Okay.
And they're filming drone footage and flying by helicopter.
Yeah, right.
They've got the footage as well. Then they'll put the drone up. It's in America.
Yeah.
And they're just brilliant. Like,
that's.
And obviously you think about, okay, we're our hobby and our main thing is bikes. But you get someone like that loves the air life and whatnot,
Yeah.
and being in a helicopter or a plane.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess that's their tickles their fancy, and that's what they want to do. And I
Yeah.
thought about it, like you're saying, like how cool would it be, like fly a helicopter or learn to fly a plane? Here we are talking about drones and whatnot, where you can get up there and do it yourself.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Rogers just said, Brett in our moto community group is a helicopter pilot. There you go.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. And Rhodes of Oz has said, yeah, can confirm. I wasn't lost. I was just confirming we were going the right way.
Yeah.
That's it. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that.
Exactly. Just double checking. Yeah.
Just double checking.
But he's right there. Like, you got to double before, if you're not around the surroundings that you're familiar with, you're better off pulling over, have a double check. And like I did that at Braxton, because like I said, I used to go straight ahead here, and now I've got a bypass, and I'm going, fuck, what do I do here? Because it said turn left or turn around and go back, and I'm going, what the fuck? And I double look, a loop back down. Then you got back on Newcastle Link, New England, and away you go up the Scone. And it's completely, like, shows you how long I've fucking been that way. 8 years or so, I'm guessing.
And Rogers just said, check out his older videos. He's got helicopter footage. So that's I might look at that a bit later. Yeah.
Brett Company, is that the name of his channel? Brett Company.
I'm trying to think of. I'm because I haven't been on the chat properly in a couple of weeks. I can't think of who it is, but we'll find out, and
not
have a look for sure.
Cool.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and final question, we've made it.
Oh, hey. And I think dinner's almost ready too, so perfect timing.
Dinner? Fucking what time?
I'm a musician, mate. Most of my dinners are between 9 and midnight, or sometimes even later.
It's past my bedtime. I can get to bed. Anyway, final question. Future plans for your channel this year, and what you'll be keeping an eye out for.
Okay. So with the YouTube channel, I mean, we kind of hinted on some things, but to make it more official, there's plans of, like I said, talking to off-road training guys and doing a video with them. Like going and doing the course, and obviously, getting their permission to be able to record myself in the course and do all that stuff. So that's something I'd like to do, which I haven't organized at all. Another thing that I've kind of half organized is I've already started doing interviews for season 2 of the podcast, and the Australian Electric, season 2 is coming out it's starting up in March. So, but I've got interviews that I've already done, and 2 gentlemen that I already interviewed, they're from the Australian Electric Motorcycle Company. And they're a dealership that's just about to open up, if not already just opened up, in Queensland on the Gold Coast. And they're a motorcycle dealership that only sells electric motorbikes. And so I had them on the show. I interviewed them both. There's a business partner in the UK that's been running the shop there for a number of years, and the business partner here in Australia who's is in the Gold Coast. And I had them both on the show at the same time, so we got to talk to things that are different over in the UK. But while we were chatting, I thought it'd be great if I end up going up to the Gold Coast soon. I'd love to do a YouTube video, check out the showroom, test ride all the motorbikes that are there. And one thing I won't give away, I've got some ideas about the test ride of the motorcycle, so I won't mention too much because I haven't even asked them yet. But there's a few ideas I have about test riding the bikes that I'd like to do. So that's other stuff that's coming up. There's a couple of more reviews coming up. There's a couple more giveaways coming up from Johnny Reb. And a couple of other bits and pieces. But that's probably the biggest future plans for the show this year. Yeah, for the YouTube channel and the podcast.
Yeah, that's the way. Cool.
Yeah. Beautiful. We made it.
You made it.
Brilliant.
Thanks very much, guys. Everyone in the chat and all.
Cheers, guys. Cheers, everyone, for joining in. Good to see you all here. And
don't forget, next week is actually the 13th, and I'll be doing Belle's Ride. She's a great chick over in the US, and our other half was Andy. They got RVs and they just finished that world record poker run. She just put a good video up of that, a 50-minute video of the big world record run that they did, and she's got it all set up. And I'm halfway through watching that. It's pretty good. I started to watch it this morning, and I realized it was 50 minutes. So I got halfway through it. I watched the other half later, but I don't mind videos like that. I don't mind if they're long. I'll just catch up and watch the rest of it later.
Yeah.
But, length of videos don't worry me. It's as long as the content's good. Yeah, exactly.
That's it. Same here. I can watch an hour-long video, no problem. But as long as, like you said, as long as the content's good, doesn't matter. You just, because before you know it, it's like, oh shit, an hour. Oh, okay, better go make myself useful. Otherwise, I'll be on YouTube all day.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we had to go up and look at a camping trailer this morning. We ended up buying it actually because we went to the show yesterday. Looked at the models and we seen one, and the closest one was Port Macquarie, and it was fairly recent in our price range. We worked out at the thing, it's 4 months to 3 months wait to get a new one.
Oh wow, okay.
Like $5 or $6 grand dear, or like being brand new, or you get it $5 or $6 grand cheaper buying a second-hand one. And the closest one was Port Macquarie, and we ended up lashing out and we got that one. So we're in the process of getting that this week, and the rooftop tent will be going on my trail bike trailer. For when I go trail bike riding and camping that way. And other than that, me and Mrs. Smithy will be in the camper, off-road camper trailer. So
brilliant.
More obviously like future videos and whatnot with my channel, and that's what we're sort of doing in that regards. So it was a busy day. You had to get off my ass, stop the video, and go and do that.
That's it. You got to do it, mate. You got to do it.
Busy life, and
that's it.
When it's good outside and you're on the weekend, you go and do it. So
fantastic. Well, thanks again, mate. I appreciate you inviting me along to the show. It's been a long time coming. But great to be here.
Thanks, everyone. And
cheers, lads and ladies.
Cheers.